Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stwetzy here with another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition casted match for you today. So, we got ourselves another Break and Me game against Cyber Psycho. Before we get started though, we gotta check out the mapping and see what it does for the players here. So, we're on the glorious map of Detour, depending on who you ask. I know some people don't like this map, but I love this map. It takes place in the Detour Plateau, hence the big giant plateau in the middle of the map here. Up here you can find all sorts of hunts, mines, even native sites. But don't worry, you start the game with extra resource crates and there are 2 trade routes. There's one up here that has about 3 sockets, one down here with 2 sockets. So depending on what you're looking for a build, if you want to do a trade heavy build, this is the map to do it on, right? So without further ado, let's get started. We got Cyber Psycho here as the Portuguese. Portuguese in 1 versus 1 is always a pain to deal with. I can tell you that from experience, not just in Definitive Edition, but also Legacy and Wars of Liberty. Yeah, having those extra town stars floating around their base makes it really hard to rush them. Really hard. So, I bet it would probably be wise for Germany to at least set up an Age 3 or Age 4 strategy and really mass up their stuff. At least that's what I think. As for Breaking Me over here, we all know him as the expert Chinese player, but he does occasionally play other civs. We've seen him do, I believe, Aztecs. I've seen him do India before. Guess he does Germany as well. So, very well-rounded player in that sense. I see they're doing greetings with each other, which is always nice to see. And when I first opened this recording, I heard Breaking Me saying, China's not the only civ I know how to do. You know what I mean? Because everybody thought he was sort of like this dude that only main China because of his special, porcelain tower build with the French consulate that he's pretty signature for, but no, he knows some other civs as well. He can rush with India pretty well, he can rush with Aztecs. I don't know, what his Germany looks like exactly? Is it more of an HVNI style Germany, a Revnak style Germany? What kind of Germany is this? I'm going to be looking at the deck pretty closely and trying to figure that out, right? Yep. Everybody grabbed a TP, it looks like. Portuguese in particular, because this map does have extra resource craze, so getting a TP is probably recommended. So this is the Germany build. So the Germany build here is basically general combat, it looks like, with some good mercenary shipments. Got the Irish Brigadiers in Age 2. You got the Black Riders, Jaegers, and the Arquebusiers in Age 3. So maybe these mercenaries will make a huge difference here. Otherwise, looks very cavalry heavy, you know. Combat for the war wagons and the Uhlans. And then if you get to Age 4, of course, you got the heavy cannon option with the factories and so forth. Yep. How about Portuguese? What is Portuguese looking at here? So Portuguese is playing heavily into Fast Fortress, Fast Industrial. Notice the name of the deck here. It gives him options. He can go for a Fast Fortress, pull out Cazadors with Dragoons and Organs. Or he could go all the way to a Fast Industrial, pull out his heavy cannons, perhaps even get these Almeida out, perhaps. Who knows? I mean, he's got a lot of options here. And if he does go for the Industrial option, he does have the ability to pick up heavy fortifications and just really get a bunch of cool defensive techs for free, basically, which is really good. Now, what age up is Portugal doing? The Naturalists, very interesting choice. Whereas Germany will be going with Quartermaster, 400 wood. Very good politician usually to go with. So we'll see how this one ends up going exactly. Yeah. Also going to have to pay attention a lot to the map control as well, since this is a pretty large map with a lot of angles you could attack from. You could attack from the south here, attack from the north, or you could attack snap dab in the middle of the plateau as well. Or you could attack from your base off to the side. So there's a lot of flexibility for the players in terms of rushing each other in this type of map pretty much. So we'll have to see how that ends up transpiring. What will be really fascinating is what Portugal does. Because Portugal, as you know, gets a covered wagon with each age up. So it's always a question, where is that covered wagon going to go? Is it going to go here, there, everywhere? It's going to go into the plateau. And I think, honestly, what a good use for it. It's a beautiful use for it, actually, because it's going to be snap dab in the middle of a hunt, in the middle of a mine, and it's a town center, so it's not like the enemy can just raid that area out of existence. You're going to hide in your TC and start hurting their units, so Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect use for Portuguese map control here. Now, if they're going for Fast Fortress, that would mean that there's going to be a third town center. Would the third town center maybe go here? Could it go down here? Who knows where that town center could go? I'm presuming it's going to go somewhere over here or over there. Somewhere to sort of take full control of this plateau. That's my idea, at least. Now, question is, what does Germany do in that instance, right? Do they go with some sort of pike and shot sort of thing? Do they go for artillery and H3? I have no idea. I have no idea based on the deck how they would counter such widespread map control. I'm presuming they're going to make Portugal's life really bad because of those Yuans. That's going to be one thing for sure, because as you know, free Yuans with every card, just like these ones. These things are monstrous rating units, you know. They sacrifice all those hit points that the Hussars get just to have a bit more damage and act like a glass cannon, you know. Hacking much more damage into the Vils that, of course, have a little hand armor to start with. So the more damage you can get in melee, the better off you are with rating them. Germany's going for 700 coin. Looks like a fast fortress from them. And Portugal's almost an H3 themselves, so they got some exquisite timing this time, it looks like. Yep. First card was Vitorias, or Federias. Basically allows your town centers to trickle a little bit of each resource, turn it into a really nice booming tool. More than it already is. So right away, shipping in the Dragoons. This is almost natural because you know your opponent is Germany, so they're going to be making a lot of Uhlans, potentially pikemen. A couple of things that Dragoons can actually counter pretty well. I mean, well, technically, pikemen would counter Dragoons in a head-to-head fight with no micro, but if you're microing, Dragoons are great against pikemen because they can kite them with their slower movement speed and just gain a leg up on them. And then, of course, with cavalry, the Dragoons have multipliers against them, so that very low HP that we talked about will be completely shredded. 100% from that. So, what do we got here? We got Dragoons getting ready to pop onto these Uhlans. Yes, jawohl. Jawohl, angelegt. In die Kampf. And they're going to chase them pretty far over there, right? Yep. Let's see what they end up doing. I think they're going to get these Uhlans, especially since the Explorer did a great job at snaring them with his sword attack. Very good. Okay, so it's a double town center here now with the stable, which means this is going to be a pretty tough situation if you're Germany. You know, you could potentially have your economy raided by Dragoons or Hussars, and if you try to deal with the stable yourself, of course there's two TCs there that could be potentially be raining bullets on you, so that's going to be quite the challenge to deal with, to say. To boot, we're going to have a fort as well. So where's the fort go? Fort would probably go over here, could go over there. I don't know how close to the plateau they can actually put this thing because of the TC proximity, but we'll see. Looks like the Dragoons are looking for Vils to raid, and they actually might get one. It doesn't look like he gets him, but he almost gets him. Almost got him. Very close, actually. Oh, big time. Any expansion on the trade route? Yep, it looks like Breaking Me did break Portugal's trading post, pretty much. Sticking the pikemen in cover mode is one of the best ways you can secure them from a range attack, because if you didn't know, hand units in cover mode gain 50% pierce armor, 50% crush armor, which means all those Dragoon bullets are going to be 50% less effective. Cuts it in half. It's really nice. It's a really nice thing to do if you want to salvage a unit that's really valuable that's melee. So Dragoons are going to pull behind the town center, it looks like. Yeah, those town centers are going to be like two mega forts, raining bullets down on all those soldiers. And the Dragoons are going to sit there in the back, and if the Uhlans get a little close, obviously, they'll snipe them. If the pikes get close, they can snipe them. Only thing to worry about, of course, is those skirmishers. Right, these guys here. Because, of course, skirmishers have multipliers against, like cavalry, like Dragoons, so they have to be careful with that. Fort is going up. This is going to make it very tricky for Breaking Me to break through this. You know, Breaking Me can certainly break a lot of things, but will he be able to break this entire fortification that Portugal has unfortunately stuck right in front of his base? That will be seen. So far, just Dragoons from the Portugal. Does give Germany a chance to maybe intercept them with skirms and do really well. But I doubt that's going to last for long. Eventually, we are going to see Cazadors be added to the mix, and as you know, Cazadors, pretty dangerous skirm to deal with. You know, while their HP is low, they get more armor, so they can resist pretty well in general to range attacks. That is. Dragoons doing a perfect micro job there against the Unons, but skirms do manage to pick off one of the Dragoons. So, gonna probably try to retreat back to that double TC fort setup and prepare an attack out, which would be really good. How many three organ guns? Pretty much. Yep. It's a very powerful shipment. If you remember from the Legacy game, they got a 2 organ gun shipment in Age 3. In this game, they get one that gives you 3 organ guns, which is better, but you have to cough up about 300 coin to do it. So there's a bit of a nuance, right? Yeah, you have to pay a little coin, but you're getting 3 pieces of artillery instead of just 2. And thus a little bit more survivability there with going in with that, right? War wagons are going to be a really good deterrence for those dragoons because, as you know, war wagons will beat dragoons generally outright in the right numbers because look at the range attack, 42 versus 26, and then the HP is pretty monstrous on these as well. So definitely 8 war wagons will be 8 dragoons any day of the week. At least that's what I would say. So, is there any more TCs for Germany at all? Nope, but they are getting the Black Riders in. They're kind of going for as much range cav as possible, it sounds like. Also going for a strike in the north, which they do have a barracks for to supply pikemen in. Question is, can they break this Dragoon issue here? Because, as you can see, they are going to get kills here. They're going to get 1 settler. They probably could get another settler. Yeah, this one could be targeted as well. Yeah, very good. Let's see if they can target that thing down right there. Very good. And, let's see. Oh boy, slicing through the settler is very good. Oh man, wow, good job there breaking me. You broke all those villagers quite easily. Truly breaking me. Yep. TC is under siege. Germany came up with the wise idea. If I can break that entire impenetrable fortress and 2 town centers, I'll just get the original TC that's completely unprotected, right? 200 IQ, I guess. Yep. Now, question is, can they beat the Portuguese army where it stands? Dragoons and organ guns. Organ guns will get a free shot on these skirms. TC just broke now, and now the settlers are trying to get out of that thing and get away from the battle. Explorer doing a good job at meat shielding and letting the dragoons and midmen get a few pops on the skirms. If you can pop the rest of the skirms, then more wagons can potentially be targeted next. Right, okay, so it looks like the Portugal does do a pretty fair job there at defending. Watch the pikemen if you're Portugal, though. The pikemen could still cause some problems. Yep. They're also using cover mode to try to sneak in. They get like 1 attack, but that was like it. Portugal got out of that pretty unscathed in terms of pikemen issues. Coin. Germany's going to get about 1,000 coin right now, and what does that mean? So, do they have a foundry at all? I don't see that. They do have a barracks making doppelsoldners. And I'm not quite sure what you can do with Germany at this point to deal with this, you know what I mean? You definitely need something to deal with the Dragoons, which would probably be skirms, right? But considering how that last fight went, you need to get those production builds up to be able to keep up with that. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get enough as needed with just 1 barracks, right? Got a stable here in 1 barracks, so I would say Portugal's definitely looking quite good right now. Considering they got 2 town centers still. And it seemed like a good number of their settlers also survived that encounter. Yeah. Looks like the Germany's going to attack from the north, try to take out a house, and try to plow in towards the TCs from the north area to maybe avoid the fire from the fort. Maybe. Just maybe. I doubt it, though. I mean, look. It's literally coming with all these madmen after you. It's quite serious. It is. It's very serious. Oh man, we see Town Center over here taking a shot at these Dragoons. Yep. Doppel's using a bit of splash, but not quite enough to hold the line there at all. Get that TC down. Yep, get rid of all those settlers. Let's go in towards these buildings. Cannoneers and Hark were busier. The Hark shipment should be pretty powerful here, I will say. Just make sure that you keep them away from the Dragoons, though, because unlike most ranged cavalries, the Harks are considered a heavy cavalry, meaning better against more infantry-type tasks than cavalry tasks. Also, Cannoneers will be great against the Dragoons and the Cazadors and the Organs, you know. If you could get enough of these Cannoneers, those could do a really good job here, you know, with that crush damage. Because the crush damage is, you know, crushes through 45% pierce armor quite easily. Looks like the Harks are going into hand attack. Okay, looks pretty good. 121 hand attack is nothing to laugh at. It's quite good, actually. It's like a fully beefed up U1, pretty much. So, yep. Doing a good job there. Basically eliminates most of the Cazadors, and then the Black Riders providing some range support. Hark is still alive and might up. It looks like the Harks are gone, but not the Cannoneers or the War Wagons. Right? Does he have enough army to potentially keep pushing? Looks like potentially yes. More Cannoneers queued up, as well as the big Yulon shipment. They get an age 3. Yeah, I mean at this point it looks like... Where's Portugal at? So Portugal lost a lot of units there, and it looks like it's going to take a while before they can actually make some sort of counter here, right? Train out of the 4-2. Good idea. It has to be very cautious with these Cazadors, because you don't want the Cannoneers just popping them out. It's just a bad situation to find yourself in. Cazadors coming out right over here. Very good. GG. Very good. Very nice. That was a pretty interesting duel, I will say. I will say for sure. I did not expect Breaking Me to break his way out of that prom at all. Not at all. Not at all. It was pretty good, though. We'll say. But definitely let's check post game, see what sort of stuff sticks out. Yeah, looks like resources wise, the Portugal is obviously going to have more, but when it comes to military, the Germany did pretty well. I mean, they did have a lot more units though, but they did get a lot of kills out here, and they were the only ones to actually siege anything. So yeah. I think if they didn't get rid of that first town center and force them into the middle and really start crunching them in, I don't think Germany could have done this. That was a really good map-wide tactic of using the Khan against the Portuguese. While Portugal thought the Khan would have been a good choice, it would have helped them out to gain map control in the middle of the plateau, they kind of ended up being stuck there and slowly got eaten up by lots of good mercenaries. So yeah, it was a really good game. Definitely see you on the next one that we do. Signing off now. GG and well played, everyone.